Welcome to WEFM's 3 p.m. news. I am your presenter, Jessica Klein. First, on the local scene. A quantity of books and supplies, including educational toys, has been donated to 3 institutions on mainland St. Vincent that are involved in early childhood education. A release on behalf of the donors states that the supplies for children ages 3 to 5 years are intended to strengthen literacy and were donated by the Kappa Delta International Honor Society in Education from Nova South University, Florida, on February 28th and March 2nd during Literacy Week. Representative for the group, Vincentian Dr. Sandra Trotman, explained that she traveled to her homeland to donate to 3 early childhood centers initially: Vinsave, Elizabeth Brown Early Childhood Center, and Michelle Early Childhood Center. During the visits, teachers were asked to read to the children, and the children's interactions were observed. Dr. Trotman said our follow-up would be that they continue to read to the children and that they would send us the children's feedback, whether it's a picture, a drawing, or being interviewed. They would let us know how they are progressing. Philbert Stephens, a 19-year-old diabetic patient of Liu, has been fined and ordered to pay compensation after stealing US $105 from a taxi, which he used to buy alcohol. He appeared before the Serious Offences Court on March 13, 2023, to answer a charge of theft. The teen pleaded guilty to the charge that on March 11th at Kingstown, he stole US $105, the property of Nigel Jack of Lago Heights. According to details of the case presented by Sergeant Atnell Ash, March 11th, at about 1:20 p.m., the virtual complainant returned to the Kingstown port after transporting tourists, leaving his vehicle in the parking lot and went to run some errands. The complainant ensured that the windows of his vehicles were locked. However, he left the vehicle itself unlocked. Upon returning to his vehicle around 2:30 p.m., Jack noticed that a pocket that is located near the dashboard was open and US $105 were missing. He began searching for the money and later found information that led to Stephens. The matter was reported to the police and PC Haywood of the Criminal Investigations Department, CID, who carried out investigations, and the defendant was later apprehended by the police in Liu and handed over to the CID. Still on a local scene, the president of the St. Vincent and the Grenadines Teachers Union, SVGTU, Oswald Robinson, said that the union is ready to take to the streets in protest if the government fails to comply with the court's order. On March 14, 2023, Judge Esco Henry ruled, among other things, that the cessation of public servant obligations under the government's vaccination mandate was unconstitutional and illegitimate. Earlier this week, while speaking on Nice Radio, Robinson stated that if the government decides to appeal and does anything more to violate the rights of teachers, the union will stage rallies in the capital of Kingstown. Approximately 500 public workers, including 200 teachers, were terminated because they did not take the COVID-19 vaccine or did not declare their immunization status by November 19, 2021, as required. Prime Minister Dr. Ralph Gonsalves made it clear that the government's lawyers are quite satisfied that it is likely that this judgment would be overturned in the Court of Appeal. On the regional scene, St. Lucia's Trusella MP Bradley Felix has expressed confidence that the opposition United Workers' Party, UWP, will form the next government as Alan Chastanet was re-elected as party leader. Felix, according to St. Lucia Times, said it's a democratic party and people are free to voice their opinion. At the end of the day, we must all remember we come under one umbrella and we go forward in unity to form the next government. Alan Chastanet was re-elected leader at the UWP Conference of Delegates in McCord. Felix stated that the party looks forward to advancing under the leadership of Chastanet. He dismissed suggestions of instability in the opposition group, which suffered a heavy loss when the electorate voted it out of office at the July 26, 2021 general elections. He also denied suggestions that the process of electing executive members of the UWP was hijacked, pointing to unanimous applause at Chastenet's re-election. The Choiseul MP told reporters it was completely overwhelming. Still on the regional scene, Cuban companies have turned their attention to Guyana, where significant public and private investments are pushing the country's economy to heights never seen before in its history. The Guyana Chronicle discloses that representatives of the Cuban Chamber of Commerce expressed their enthusiasm in Guyana's economy during a recent engagement with Guyana's ambassador to Cuba, Halim Majid. Felix Cordero Alvarez, deputy director of APIC Cuba, led a high-level A team to visit Guyana's embassy on March 10th with the aim of exploring ways and means to collaborate in the production of honey. Apicuba is the largest producer of honey, beeswax, and royal jelly in Cuba. It has under its control some of the largest hives in Cuba, producing some 10,000 to 12,000 tons of honey annually. Apicuba related that there would be an integral part of the Cuban Chamber of Commerce team expected to visit Guyana later this year. And finally, on the international scene, 2 Hong Kong citizens have been arrested in the city for the possession of picture books which authorities say are seditious. In reference to BBC News, the 2 men are believed to be the first arrested for merely owning the books after the publishers were jailed last year. Authorities interpret the books about sheep trying to hold back wolves from their village as referring to Hong Kongers and China's government. Human Rights Watch described the arrest as shameful and said that the territory was using its colonial era sedation law to clamp down on dissent. Hong Kong media reported that police arrested the men, aged 38 and 50, at their apartments on March 13th as they raided their homes in Kowloon and Hong Kong Island and seized multiple copies of the books. Both men have been released on bail but must report to the police next month, according to authorities. This has been WEFM's 3 p.m. news. I have been your presenter, Jessica Klein. Join us again at 5:30 p.m. for WEFM's evening news, and we thank you for listening.